Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I'm one of the travel agents with Marvelous Mouse Travels. We are the agency that runs this Facebook group, along with several others that are focused on different destinations. And we are also an earmarked platinum authorized Disney vacation planner. And what that means is that we are trained by Disney directly, and we are also recognized by them as being experts in their vacation products and providing exceptional customer service to our clients. Welcome to Sundays with MMT. This is a weekly live agent panel video series that we do in one of our Facebook groups every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we are really excited to be here in our Disney World group tonight, but we're actually going to be talking to you about Disney Cruise Line's newest ship, the Disney Wish. And so you might be thinking to yourself, this is a Disney World group. Why are you talking to me about Disney Cruise Line? But these two destinations actually pair really well together. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about land and sea vacation options and kind of how that works as we introduce the Wish and also as we introduce Disney Cruise Line as a whole. So we have a team of agents with us tonight who are experts in both Disney World and Disney Cruise Line. And so they're going to share a wealth of information with you. But we would also love to take your questions. So if you have any questions about Disney World or Disney Cruise Line at any point during this video, feel free to go ahead and drop those into the comment section and we will go through those and get through as many as we can. We always love it when you interact with us and share your thoughts and opinions too. We are using a platform called StreamYard to go live this evening, and StreamYard might ask you to approve it to display your username and profile picture. If you want to post a comment, just know that you can decline that permission and you can still interact with us anonymously if you'd like to. So I'm joined tonight by three of our marvelous agents. Thank you to everybody for being here with us tonight. And if you would take just a little bit of time to tell everybody your name, how long you've been with the agency, and the best way for people to contact you if they're interested in planning a trip.
Hi, I'm Jesse Fouts, and I've been with Marvelous Mouse Travels since January of 2018. Started off doing Disney vacations because I love Disney so much, and just happy to be here. And my email's down at the bottom of the screen if you have any questions for me personally.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Alice Fouts, and I have been a travel agent with Marvelous Mouse Travels since October of 2019. And the best way to reach me is my email address, maryalice@marvelousmousetravels.com.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jennifer Self, and I have been a travel agent with Marvelous Mouse for 5 years now, actually this month. Disney Cruise is my family's absolute favorite vacation. I actually specialize in Disney Cruise. I've been on the Wish twice, and I can't wait to share with you today all the things Disney World and Disney Cruise.
And again, my name is Ginger. I've been with Marvelous Mouse Travels just over 4 years. And the best way to reach out to me is to visit my blog, which you can find at gingermmt.com. So since we are talking about Disney Cruise Line in our Disney World group, and this may be, part of the Disney destination family that people who frequent Disney World, or maybe you're just kind of starting their vacation process with Disney, are a little bit unfamiliar with. So let's just start with kind of the broad overview of what sets Disney Cruise Line apart from some of the other major cruise lines out there.
So I can start. I feel like one of the biggest things that Disney Cruise offers that sets them apart is their quality of service. So as you know, whenever you go into a Disney park or any type of Disney product, they always go above and beyond what they're offering. And so when you go on a Disney cruise or you go to Disney World, they always have that high quality product, and they always have service level that is like no other. On the Disney cruise, they service your room twice a day. You have the same dining staff each night at your dinner, so that if you have allergies or you have some type of dietary restrictions, they get to know that, and you don't have to reteach a new staff each night. Even our person who cleaned our room, they would find us in the hallway and ask us how we were doing. And everybody's just so friendly and so eager to help you have the most amazing experience.
Yeah, we agree. We always say that the Disney difference is very evident on Disney Cruise Line. We just got off a ship, we got off the Wonder, and we're getting ready to get on the Wish. And we always say that the service is just impeccable. I echo everything that Jen said, but also I did a lot of laundry on our last cruise, and that happened to be during like the second dining rotation. So most of the staterooms on the hallways were being cleaned and serviced. And so everybody that I walked by, didn't matter how many times I went back and forth to change the laundry, they all greeted me. They noticed little things like, oh, you got a new shirt today in Alaska, like just the little things. And they know your name, which I think makes you feel really special, and you really have a connection, and it feels more like an environment that you feel like home in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would echo that too with the service. Just one of the things that really impressed me was being able to, have dinner our very first night and then go to breakfast the next morning, and your server team, a member, whether it's your mate, your head server or not, they know your name. They walk by them and they say your name. That to me just speaks volumes about how committed they are to providing that extra upper echelon of service when it comes to what other cruise lines do or don't do. I think this is what Disney makes them the top of it all. And, I think another thing that sets Disney apart from other cruise lines is the way that they do their dining. And I love this. I think this is one of the things we fell in love with when we did our first Disney cruise, was that, you might have heard it mentioned, your dining staff rotates with you, and you are in a different dining room each night. And these dining rooms aren't just a bland, regular old dining room. They're themed. There's something special about them. And even on the Wish, which I think a lot of us have been more excited about the dining rooms than most of the other features because of what's on the dining. So I think, the dining is what sets Disney Cruise Line apart. I think that's a huge part, and it's included. I mean, your main dining is included in that, and it's really spectacular.
Mm-hmm. I think those
and
are all.
That,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, with that, it's dinner and a show for most of the dining rotation. And then another thing that I think is huge that sets Disney Cruise Line apart from other cruise lines is that, they don't have as many ships. So we're talking, they have 5 ships at this point. They've got the Magic, that was the original ship built back in the 90s, I think.
I think so.
Still looks brand new. You get on that ship, and it does not look like it is a ship that is over 20 years old. So when people come to me and they're like, which ship should I do? Well, honestly, you could do any of the ships because you're getting the same quality, the same excellent ship, the same activities. More, it's about picking your itinerary or your report. But other cruise lines, you'll notice that the ships, maybe the older ones, not, So with Disney, you don't have to worry about that. Even the older ships feel brand new. You get off the ship, they're literally painting the ship in port every single time. They're out there. I went out and sat on this last time I was on the Wish a couple weeks ago, went out and sat on the deck and was just reading, and they're out there power washing. The ship wasn't even a month old. There were guests on it for a month yet, and they're out there power washing, they're painting, they're out there cleaning all the time. So it's that they want to make sure that they're putting out a product that is absolutely incredible, no matter which ship that you get on.
And I could touch on that point too, because I think that's another thing that sets them apart. And I think my wife would agree too, that one of the things that is so special about a Disney cruise is how clean it is. And we're talking prior to pandemic. Disney set the standard on that. You did not walk into a bathroom and see it messy at all on the ship. I don't care what time of day. Their bathrooms are just so immaculate. Now, I wouldn't suggest it, but you could eat off the floor in these bathrooms. They're so clean. Don't do that. We don't condone that. But I just love the fact that, you feel everything is just well taken care of. You mentioned when you're at port, they're off of that ship, they're cleaning it. And that's what sets them apart. And I'm not saying that other ships are not clean or they don't do the cleaning, but you see how much extra detail they're giving these ships.
And it's constant all the time, in the elevators, in the atrium, in the public bathrooms, there's always people everywhere just giving it an extra polish or giving it an extra sanitation or giving an extra paint job, or it's really wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those are all fantastic points. And, maybe for people who are thinking about, okay, well, I've got this trip to Disney World planned. Maybe I do want to tack on a cruise to the front end or to the back end of it. How does that process work? Like how do you get between Disney World and Disney Cruise Line? What's the land and sea process look like?
Well, I think that part of it that's so great is that the Wish alternates between 3 and 4 night sailings, which from Port Canaveral, which is approximately an hour from Orlando. So it's a perfect length cruise to pair with a Disney stay, so that you don't feel like you're doing, a 2-week vacation or whatever. Disney Cruise does offer a shuttle. They offer it from Disney Resorts, and they offer it from the airport. So it is an additional charge, but if you're someone who like me just wants to show up and just kind of be taken care of the whole time and doesn't want to have to worry about my own transportation or making my own food or whatever, then I can just show up and take that Disney Cruise shuttle to the port. And then at the end of my cruise, it's so easy to just take that Disney Cruise shuttle right back to the airport at the end of the trip, or back to a Disney resort if that's what you choose to do.
Yeah.
And I would recommend, if you are going to consider a land and sea vacation, or you're going to spend time at Disney World and on a Disney cruise, try to do your Disney World vacation prior, because I think we can all agree sometimes you need a vacation from your vacation when it comes to Disney. Just check your steps. You will walk more. You'll have fun. You'll be worn out. But just going, from that fast-paced to the relaxing pace would be a lot better. I'm not saying you can't do it vice versa, but that's always a good thing to do a pre-stay at Walt Disney World, I think, and then take advantage of that.
I agree.
And I know some people do it, but it's not best practice to fly in on the same day that you have to sail out.
Yeah.
Because the ship will leave without you. It's not going to wait for you, just like an airplane doesn't wait for you. So if you are looking to do both, putting your Walt Disney World stay on the beginning end of that gives you that cushion, that wiggle room anyway, where you're probably already flying in a day earlier.
Yeah, especially with flights being, kind of how they've been lately. You definitely want that extra time, that buffer time. For sure.
They say 1 to 2 days before now. Used to be flying the night before. Now it's like, flying 2 days before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even if you don't plan on going to the parks, you could take advantage of the Disney resorts and Disney Springs. There's plenty of wonderful places to go eat at Disney Springs. You've got free transportation from your Disney resort there. And then you've got your pools at the resort. And it's great to just be able to relax at a Disney resort too. You can even take in the fireworks from some of the resorts. You don't even have to be in the park.
Yeah.
So.
One of our favorite Disney resorts to stay at is Saratoga Springs. And one of the reasons why we love it so much is because it is just an easy walk over to Disney Springs, and you have all the restaurants there. You've got, all the different shops and everything. And then you can easily hop on a bus from Disney Springs to any of the other Disney resorts. So if you want to go over and watch the fireworks, like Jesse said, from the Polynesian or the Grand Floridian or something, you can totally do that. And you're not even having to spend money on a park ticket with that.
And I'll say that, along with what Jesse said, even if you're not doing parks, just going a couple days and just doing, a night or two at a Disney resort, it gets you in that Disney mood, Disney mode. It's the Disney product. You're around. They have characters at the resorts certain parts of the day, so you're kind of getting like a little pre-trip that's really Disney. You don't have to be in the park, riding Space Mountain or whatever to be at Disney. You can just be at a resort and enjoying all those other Disney things that are there as well.
Absolutely. So let's move on and talk a little bit about the Wish itself. Jen mentioned that there are 5 Disney cruise ships. And so what, in your opinion, sets the Wish apart from the other 4, which are the older ships?
So I will say that, hold on, I have to do something really quick. My son. Okay, hold on. Okay. So the Disney Wish is different from the other 4 ships in that the original 4 ships are basically built with trying to be like a luxury cruise liner, classic cruise line feel. You see the navy blue and the gold, and then the nautical feels, those types of things. When you go into the first thing you walk into the Disney Wish, it is a completely different feel. The outside of the ship kind of looks the same. The inside of the ship looks like a castle. You walk in, the color scheme is different. The carpet is different. There's a stage. It's the lighting. There's you can see in this photo that there are some stars and whatnot at the top. Those light up at certain times of the day, and they do like little. You can see kind of there. They do the little curvy lines there. They'll light up and shoot around and do all these different things. It just is a different feel as far as in comparison to the classic original four, the OGs as I call them. I do feel like this one has much more for adults to do. Not that it has less for the kids to do, but I feel like they really took into account adults whenever they built this ship, and thought about more what would fit them as well, so that they're getting some adult experiences, and it's not just about, your family all of the time.
Yeah.
I think another thing that I'm excited about is, I know it's a bigger ship overall, the size of it, but it doesn't hold more passengers than the already larger ships, the Fantasy and the Dream. So even though it is a much larger scale of a ship, you're not competing with 2,000 extra people on that ship. So I'm excited to experience more room with the same amount of people.
Absolutely. Oh, yep, I agree. It definitely, I think, has a more upscale feel. So not that the others aren't upscale. I mean, they definitely are. But this one, I think, the floating palace metaphor is probably appropriate for that, at least based on the pictures that I've seen. We have not made it on the Wish yet, but we do have a cruise booked on the Wish, which we're really excited about getting on board to see it for ourselves.
It feels very bougie to me, and I cannot wait to experience that for myself.
Right. And I will say, one of the biggest difference is just in the details as far as the colors that they're using. Even the cast member costumes, I guess you would call it. I'm not sure. They're a different color scheme. They're more of they have like light blues, more of a pastel-y color scheme with some like gold and silver touches. Whereas on the other ships, like if you were the kids club, they had like a bright yellow shirt, and then there's some navy blue. And so it just felt more nautical, where this is definitely feeling more elegant and more, I want to say princessy, but I guess more castle-like, or more just upscale.
Royal. Yeah.
Royal. That's a good word.
So let's talk a little bit. Now, we mentioned already that for right now, at least, the Wish is a 3 or 4 night itinerary. They are Bahamian itineraries. So let's talk a little bit about the ports of call. So where will this ship dock, and where will you get to explore?
So this ship is it's Bahamian. So you have the 3 or the 4 night. All 3 night cruises are Friday through Monday. All 4 night cruises are Monday through Friday. So you already know that the Wish is on this like continuous loop, Friday to Monday, Monday to Friday, from now until all of the sailings that they have released at this point. The 3 and the 4 night are similar in that they both go to Castaway Cay, Disney's private island, and you get a full day there. And they both go to Nassau, Bahamas. The difference is that the 4 night cruise has 1 day at sea, so that you can just stay on the ship, enjoy what the ship has to offer.
Yeah. And from what I have heard, that might be the route you want to go with the Wish, because it looks like there is a lot of stuff on board to explore, a lot of different things to do. So you honestly might want that extra day at sea. Some people even consider staying on the ship when it's docked in Nassau. If they don't want to get off and explore, you can stay back on the ship, because it looks like there is a whole lot to do without even having to get off in port if you don't want to.
We're taking a 4 night, and that's exactly what we plan on doing. And we are also glad that we have our day at sea, so that we don't feel like we're competing with like, oh, I want to be off doing this, but I feel like I haven't seen this yet. So we're hoping to hit up as much of the new ship stuff as possible.
Absolutely.
And I will say, as far as like things to do, there's not necessarily more things to do on this ship than the other ships, but the difference is that because it's such a shorter itinerary, that and it's new, so even those of us who are very experienced sailors and have been on the other ships multiple times, it's a brand new experience. So both of mine were 3-night cruises that I did, one at the end of June, one at the end of July. One time, the first cruise, I got off in Castaway to get pictures of the boat, and that was it, and got back on. Didn't even get off in Castaway because I just wanted to spend time on the ship, just taking it all in. And then the second one, we did get off in Castaway, but then for Nassau, stayed on the ship and just really enjoyed what the ship and just the different activities. It did have some different activities than what it offered, than what we had experienced previously on the Fantasy and the Dream and whatnot. And I think it was just more because that stage that they have in the atrium kind of gives them a little bit where they can offer a few different things. We did something that was like I'm trying to remember what it was called, but basically it was like a cross between 20 questions and who is it or something. And they brought up a kid and he got to ask 10 yes or no questions, trying to figure out what character was behind the curtain. And it was called Who's Behind the Curtain? I don't know if I can think. And so, the kid's like, does it have big ears? Is it a friend of, is it someone's best friend? Until they finally figured out. And then that character would come out and dance, and everybody take pictures and dance with them. And then they'd stand to the side and they did like 4 characters. And that was something we hadn't experienced on the other ships. So it was a lot of fun. They didn't come down to us, but you got good pictures, you got to dance with them. And it was just different. So I do think that a 4-night cruise is best. Even better than that, do a back-to-back and do a 3 and a 4-night, turn it into a 7-night experience if you're not going to do, or you want a longer trip or, whatever, if you're not going to Disney World. And that way you just get extra, because then you definitely wouldn't need to get off in Nassau twice. You have even extra days to do all the really, cool activities on board.
Yeah, absolutely. We did have a really good question come through about the dress code on the ship. So is it different from the other ships? Since the ship itself is maybe a little bit fancier, does that carry on to how you're supposed to dress?
No, it was exactly the same.
Yeah.
It did have a couple of different it had Palo and then it had Enchante, and both of those, of course, require specific dress code. But other than that, it's pretty casual.
Yeah.
Cruise casual.
Which is great because you're on vacation. You don't want to have to worry about that. So it's nice that you don't. Yeah.
Now, I do like getting a little fancier for dinner, but if it's a longer cruise, I might be going cruise casual to dinner. It just depends on how you feel.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about a cruise. You just go with the flow.
That's right.
I'm with you.
So let's talk a little bit about the staterooms on the Wish, because not only are the standard staterooms, they have some special features that you don't find on, or special theming, I should say, that you don't find on the other ships, but there are also a whole lot more suite options on this one. So let's kind of talk through people through that.
So
go ahead, Jen.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I can speak to the ones that are on the other cruise ships as well. And I know Jen has gotten to do some special walkthroughs, so maybe I can let her speak to the concierge ones and the special suites. But you're going to find inside staterooms, you're going to find ocean view staterooms, and then you're going to find ocean view veranda staterooms. And then some of these room categories also have a deluxe family designation. So that means they can sleep up to 5 in that room. And you're going to have different room configurations, of course, depending on what kind of category you book. So that's why it's really important to book with a travel agent, because not every ocean view veranda room is created equal, no matter what ship you're on, not just the Wish. So those things are important because there's little nuances that make each room category different. So those are the general basic things. What makes the Wish a little different and a little special and a little more unique is that each of the cabins has a different theme. So you're going to have a princess theme. I think I know them all, but Jen, you can chime in. There's the Little Mermaid. There's
Frozen,
Princess and the Frog. There's Frozen. There's Cinderella. I think there's also
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
Moana.
Moana is one,
Moana.
and then Rapunzel is one, and that might be it.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
There's so many.
Yeah, we had Cinderella in the first cruise, and then we had Tiana in the second. My daughter's a big Tiana fan, and I did not pick that room on purpose, knowing that it would be Tiana, so it just worked out.
Mhm.
The room in general is going to be, they're all going to be themed exactly, but the difference for the character-wise is that the big mural above the main bed, and then the picture above the sofa is what is going to be themed to that princess. Everything else is still going to be the same color, but you can see here, just in comparison to, other ships, this, you can see the color already, like has the light pink blanket, whereas on the other ships, that blanket is like navy blue. The carpeting is a little different. And even the carpeting in the hallway out, in between the staterooms, it's different. It's definitely, you can see that it's trying to pull in that whole princessy vibe with different color schemes and different detailing in the carpet, and even in the light fixtures outside. It's amazing all the little things that they have thought of. But this ship also has, they all have suites and concierge, but this particular ship has more concierge rooms, and then it has a couple of really special rooms. It has a 1-bedroom concierge, a 2-bedroom concierge, but it also has this tower suite that you're looking at right now, which is two stories. It has this big living room. It has, I think it had 3 bedrooms. We got to tour it. Like, you get lost in there. It's so amazing. It has these shades that pull down. The only thing about this one is that those windows that you're looking at, those are literally looking at the front of the ship. So you're looking at the bar area and stuff there. Whereas if you go to the 2-bedroom concierge, it has an actual balcony that overlooks the ocean. So you just want to be aware of like what your priorities are. That 2-story tower suite is absolutely incredible. It's a splurge for sure. I don't know that I would ever leave it. Like, I'd probably just stay there and let everybody serve me. But you just have to be aware of, like, if you really want to be able to stand out on a balcony, then that you're going to want to do the 2-bedroom like that, an Aurora suite. That was really
And they have some beautiful bathrooms.
Oh, yeah. They remind me of the bathrooms at the Riviera at Disney World, which are some of the prettiest bathrooms in any hotel that you're going to stay at.
You say that about the Riviera, and we felt like there was a lot of things that had been pulled from the Riviera design style that they pulled into this ship as far as elegance and detailing.
Yeah.
So.
And I love that hotel. That's one of my favorite on-site hotels at Disney World. So I think that's one of the things that speaks to me about the Wish, is that it does remind me so much of the Riviera. I love the Riviera. So imagine if you did that pre-cruise stay at the Riviera and then you got on the Wish. That sounds pretty good.
Fantastic trip.
It would.
So a question I think some people are going to ask, is there a way to know what room you're going to get? As far as the princess theming, because I mean, this is a standard question we get, with even Walt Disney World stays. Which rooms have which themes? Right. So how would we know what room's going to be Tiana? What room's going to be Aurora? What room's going to be Moana?
So I will say that that's still a work in progress, because even when we call into Disney Cruise Line, they don't know. So you go, hey, room 8259 or whatever, what's the theming? And they'll be like, we don't have that information. There are some lists out there. We have a general idea, but that's going to be a good reason to have a travel agent so that they can reach out to people. We've got some lists that are being made out there, compiling some of that information so that if that is something that is really important to you, then we can try to find that information for you. But like I said, it's definitely still a work in progress.
And Jen would know, because she calls Disney Cruise Line so much that they know her by name. Like, they recognize her voice when she calls. So yeah. If there was a way to know for sure, she'd know it.
Myself anymore. It's pretty bad.
Oh, man. So let's talk a little bit about the onboard activities, things like the spas and the kids clubs and the aqua. Is it the aqua mouse? Did I get the name right? Okay. Let's tell people about that.
So one thing that is, when you first walk into the atrium, the kids club is off of the atrium now. Instead of being on deck 5 further down, it has this slide. So the upper part of this slide is going to be on the opposite side of the atrium from where you embark the ship. So this slide is super fun. Yes, they'll let adults do it. As long as it's open house hours. So you slide down. It's kind of a Cheshire Cat, Alice in Wonderland theme. However, that whole area down there is the lady that does the artwork for, or did the artwork for It's a Small World.
Mary Blair.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yes, her. Like, it's all done. The entire kids club area is done in theming using that style of artwork. So it's super cool for those of us that geek out over Small World. And there are several. There's a Star Wars room. There's a Marvel room. There is a princessy area where it has like a reading nook for Belle, and then a little arts and craftsy area for Frozen, those types of things. There's a place where you can design a roller coaster and ride it. Like, they just really took the kids club concept and took it up a level. What's really fantastic though is they have built this so that when you walk into the kids club, you can go to the right or you can go to the left. So the left has the Star Wars and the Marvel area. They can actually close that off and open some outdoor in the hallway doors to that, so that they can have those be open house for older kids or adults while they're still operating the kids club, or vice versa. So it just makes it where they can have more open house hours, and so that those older kids or maybe adults who really love Marvel or Star Wars get to go in and experience it as well. We saw Black Panther and took pictures of Black Panther, that type of thing. So it was a lot of fun, and I kind of wish that I was a kid so I could have checked in myself, but.
Yes, I'm sure that our kids will be in the kids club the entire sailing coming up, because they were on the last one. And, just the grandeur, everything feels just elevated on the Wish. And so I know if they really loved the theming that they just experienced on the last ship, then they're just going to feel like this one is out of this world.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's another one of those, what sets Disney apart is their kids club. Their kids clubs are they're immaculate. And, again, they do such a good job of staffing the kids club with these certified counselors. Literally, your child will not get bored. And if they say they're bored, then, you have to have a serious discussion because there's super awesome things to do. And you're talking, and not just for the small kids. I mean, you have the Edge and the Vibe. For your preteens, for the Edge, which are going to be 11 to 13. And then you've got the Vibe for 14 to 17. And I mean, our son's a teenager. He's 13. He's, we don't expect to see him once we embark the ship. It's going to be like, we'll have a good cruise. But again, I mean, that speaks volumes, because, you're on a vacation, and as a family vacation, I think a lot of people say, well, we just want to make sure our kids are going to have a good time. Grandparents will reach out and they want to take their kids on a cruise, and we want to make sure they have a good time. You don't have to worry about that. You're going to be able to do what you want to do. Your kids are going to be able to do what they want to do, and you're going to have fun. Another onboard activity, and I think, Jen, I'm so jealous that you've already got to experience this, but one of the things I love on Disney Cruise is the theaters. I love the fact that you have full theaters on the Disney Cruise Line, and this is where you can you'll have a main theater where you're going to see your big shows, and then they've got a smaller theater for a movie theater. I think they have 2 of this, so it's incredible. So.
The other thing I want to say, since Jesse brought it up, was like the kids have their area. They do. And I know some adults are like, well, I don't want to go on a Disney cruise because it's just for kids. Well, yeah, there is a lot for kids, but there's also a lot for adults to do. And there are some activities that are designated 18 and up. And there are some designated spaces on the ship, whether that be lounges at a certain time of the day or certain pool areas, certain areas on the ship. Those are going to be designated for adults only. So you have plenty of places to not be near kids if that's what you're looking for as well.
Yep. And the family trivias that they do family trivia, but they'll also do adult trivia. So if you in the evenings, the lounges are fantastic, and I am so excited about the Hyperspace Lounge. I'm a huge Star Wars kid. So for me, it's just going to be. It is going to be amazing to walk in there and see it. And, that's one of the things I love about Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World, and Oga's Cantina. I just think this is going to be a special lounge to just go set in the evenings and just relax and get a out of this world drink. For
sure.
Fuzzy Tauntaun or whatever they call it. So.
Mary Alice and I got the opportunity to go on the Star Cruiser back in April, and the Hyperspace Lounge reminds me so much of the Sublight Lounge, which is the lounge on the Star Cruiser. And it is really cool that, they do have every little element of those areas are themed, and so everything down to the drinks, they look like they're from a galaxy far, far away. It's just really cool to see how, they've used the technology to make it look like you're looking out at space. Like it's incredible what they've been able to do with all of that.
And in addition to the lounges and bars and whatnot, there is an entire just adult pool area. On the other ships, it's kind of almost forward. It's kind of a walkthrough. Part of it is so families are walking through. This one is at the back of the ship on the top deck. Completely, you have to be going there to get there. It's kind of hidden. It's got the most amazing furniture. I don't know. You feel like you're concierge when you're back there. It just completely looks different than the furniture on the regular pool deck. It's got an infinity pool back there, which is it's very cool. And then the Cove Cafe, which is an adult only coffee specialty drink area. It's also back there. So there's really no reason for kids to be back there. So you don't have to worry about, them passing through like on the other ships. And it's so quiet back there. There's also a bar back there. And like I said, the loungers were my favorite part because they had the big round lounge, sleeper bed lounger things. And it was just really cool.
Yeah. And let's not forget to talk about that spa. I mean, the spa on the Wish just looks absolutely fantastic and so relaxing.
I felt like the spa, they had done a really great job on theming this. There's a lot of greenery. You feel like you're more in like the nature experience. And then there's this entire large outdoor area that has, again, some really nice round bed sleepers, some lounge chairs, some whirlpool tubs. But then you're also outside. So, as far as the Rainforest Pass, we didn't do the Rainforest Pass, but we got information. On the Wish, they only do full cruise length passes. And it was for our 3-night cruise, it was about $200 per person. That included gratuity. So just kind of know that if, you just want to kind of have not necessarily a spa service, like a massage or something, but you want to just be able to use, like they have the specialty showers, an ice room, a steam room, those types of things, the hot tubs. You can buy just a pass, just be able to come and go as you please during your entire cruise and use that.
That's awesome.
Also, just because I get asked a lot, you can only buy that on the ship. You cannot pre-buy that. So when you get on the ship, go to the spa, and they'll give you pricing, and you can purchase it then.
Awesome. So let's talk about, we've kind of alluded to dining a couple of times, but let's go ahead and talk to people about the main dining rooms on board the Wish and maybe some of the other areas that you can go and grab a snack or something like that.
So the dining rooms on the Wish are different than the main dining rooms on any of the other ships. So you have 1923, and Jen, you can correct me if I'm wrong on any of these. That's more like your Disney classic feel from Walt's days. So it's theming from 1923. So feels a little more elegant as a main dining room feel than probably what you would find on a rotation on a different ship. Then you've got Arendelle Hall, I think is the name. Arendelle. And that's going to be your Frozen themed restaurant. And there are characters that visit you on this one. I'm not going to give away everything that they do. Jen, if you want to elaborate on the characters that you see, you can. But then there's also one more main dining, and that's going to be the Worlds of Marvel. And so that is going to have Ant-Man and Wasp, and I'm pretty sure it's going to feel, if you've ever experienced Disneyland and Pim's kitchen there, I think there's some liberties on your food portion sizes. So that's going to be exciting to experience.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay. And I was going to say one big difference between these restaurants that isn't necessarily a theming difference, just a different setup, is that 1923 and World of Marvel, they both are split into two identical mirror image restaurants. So you are not in a, when you walk into the other restaurants, including Arendelle, but the other restaurants on the other ship, it's basically one giant room that you are seated in. For these, you walk in the middle, and then you either go to the right or to the left. And then, like I said, they're mirror images. So you're kind of in a more cozy space. For the 1923, the dining room, they have one that's called like Walt Disney and one that's Roy Disney. So depending on, what your table assigned number is, on which side that you would go in. The food is subtly themed to go with the restaurant. We didn't quite pick up on that as much in the first go round, but when I went back the second time, kind of picked up on, okay, wait a minute, now this is starting to make sense. Like this is a Marvel themed, okay, this is supposed to look like, whatever kind of thing. And then in the Worlds of Marvel, they have, it's huge screens all the way around you, and they show clips from all of the, like every Marvel movie or TV show or series, and just like going and going. And it doesn't have like talking and whatnot, but it has music. But it's really cool because people are like, oh my gosh, it's Black Widow, she's my favorite. And people kind of geek out over it. And then as far as Arendelle, there are basically you are at Anna and Kristoff, their engagement party that Oaken is throwing. So Oaken has decided he is now, yes, he is now a party planner. He is throwing this party. And so it's silly. It's funny. If you've ever been to the Frozen show at Hollywood Studios, where they, it's kind of a little bit of a funny-ish version of the story of Frozen. Mm-hmm. They take a funny twist to it. So if you're not a Frozen fan, you still are going to be entertained because of the humor aspect. They include songs from both movies. So if you're like me and like the first one, could never watch it again and that'd be okay. But the second one you kind of dig, then you're getting songs from both. So that's also really nice.
Spoken like someone whose daughter watched it 50 bajillion times, like mine did.
They're so old. We never... Yours are different.
Yes.
I never watched it.
Yeah. Oh, we've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
I would also like to add, so just because I know you've been on, we have not, but we've been looking at this, and the other ships, some differences. Like the other ships, each of those ships have an art. I'm sorry, I almost said artist palette instead of art of animation. I almost said, I don't know. Artist palette. I know that this ship doesn't. Same thing with like what we call cabanas or on the other ships, the buffet. We don't have cabanas on the Wish. You have the Marceline Market, right? Mm-hmm. And, I've been looking at that and it just looks fantastic. So looking forward to checking that out. And one of the things, and just because you've experienced it, is it different than the other, like a cabana's layout? Is it stationed, or is it pretty much like kind of the wraparound mirror buffet type of setup that they have on the other ships?
So it's a very similar setup as far as just being a mirror image on both sides. Each of the stations is a little bit more separated from each other. I think the biggest difference on this is the theming. That it feels like Chip and Joanna Gaines came in and decided to take Disney and Farmhouse and turn it into Marceline Market. And so
Nice.
there's a lot of greenery, a lot of shiplap or wood or, whatever. And so it just has a very different feel than the Nemo character cabanas feel on the other ships.
And I mean, and one of the things I'm loving about the Wish that I think, and what you see on the other ships too, but even I noticed you were talking about how they took some inspiration from Riviera, but it seems to be like going back to that Walt Disney Company old like tribute to Walt Disney. They got the tribute to the brothers, and then even Marceline Market, with Marceline being Walt's hometown growing up. So it's I'm excited about that as a true Disney fan, and I think a lot of people watching, I mean, if you love Disney, this is your next step. It's like, this is Disney, so it's great.
Yes. And then in addition to that, there's the quick service on the pool deck. So on the other ships, it's like a Radiator Springs Cars theming. You have Luigi's pizzas and whatever. This one is Mickey and Friends. And my favorite thing, oh my gosh, you guys.
I think I know what you're going to say. Yes, there's burritos and I saw burritos.
Tacos. Like we have been saying on every other ship, like there is not a single Mexican meal. I want some tacos. Like where are the tacos? One of the stations is literally like taco bowls, tacos, and burrito bowls. Like I win, you win.
I know. I saw a picture. I was so excited. One day, the last cruise, Cabanas is open during certain times for lunch. And I was like, well, I don't really want anything in there, but my daughter wanted chicken nuggets. So I went in there to get her the chicken nuggets that she wanted. And I was like, I'll just peruse around the backside. And the station at the back, Jen, was tacos and nachos. And I got a big plate and everybody on the ship was like, where'd you get those nachos? And I'm like, Cabanas, go.
And they have like taco stuff on pirate night in Cabanas, but those people that eat after the pirate show, I'm like, how are you eating? Like, you literally need a wheelbarrow to even walk around.
When you have late dining and then you go to another late dining.
So I have a very important question. I think a lot of people are going to want to know, because if you've been on the other Disney ships, you know that this is an important question. Is there still unlimited ice cream on the pool deck?
Absolutely. But the difference is that they built this during COVID. So they kind of made some things with it that allowed for maybe some different setups. So this one, the ice cream station is part of the Mickey and Friends quick service. It's actually one of the areas. So they serve you, which for me, I love it because I get a perfect ice cream cone every time. And there's not like ice cream all over whatever from that kid before you that dropped their ice cream after they ate it.
That'd be my kid.
Yeah. And then that might be a little more challenged on making the perfect ice cream cone. They're really, and they're just pumping them out and they're all perfect. So.
Right. And I know that's such a big draw if you've never been on a Disney cruise. One of the things is the soft serve. It's just fantastic. And, our kids will ask us at any time of day, can we go out and get an ice cream cone? That's the whole thing. So, And you can get your premium bars too. You still get your premium bars on the Disney Cruise Line. So if you're a Mickey premium bar and you want a premium bar at midnight, room service, baby.
Room service.
Two
places you can get them. Room service, or you can order them in the restaurant.
Or if you're concierge and you have a fancy suite, they'll be in your refrigerator.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you can't have too much ice cream. Let's be honest, Yeah, this person agrees. Yes, love the unlimited ice cream.
Calories don't count on vacation.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
No,
they are not a thing. They are not a thing.
One thing to tie in to Disney World, the popcorn bucket that you can buy on Disney World. You can also bring that or buy same popcorn bucket on Disney Cruise. And I think it was $1.48. I don't even remember. It was less than $2 to refill our popcorn bucket and have it for the show. So if you buy one of those popcorn buckets at Disney, bring it with you on the cruise. And then continue those very cheap refills.
Or if you're like us, we always buy one, but never remember to bring it.
So we just buy another one on the cruise. I think it was like $7 for a popcorn bucket. Come on, you're losing money if you don't buy it.
I know, right? And one thing I want to point out before, we move on from dining is that, if you think about what we just talked about with the Arendelle character experience, the Worlds of Marvel character experience, those are things that you would pay extra for at Walt Disney World, and they're totally worth it. I love character dining. We do at least one character meal every time we go to Walt Disney World. We love it. But when you go to Disney Cruise Line, like those types of dining experiences are just in the main dining rooms, and it comes as part of your cruise fare. And so that is something that really speaks to the value of when you really think about everything that's included in the price of that Disney cruise vacation. It's everything. It's everything you're going to eat. It's pretty much everything you're going to do. It's where you're going to sleep. Like, it's that all-inclusive feel that it just takes the stress out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing, sorry, and we keep jumping around, but one thing that sets it apart again is that Disney Cruise has soda fountain machines with like juice and different things up on the pool deck. So you don't have to have a drink package. They actually don't sell drink packages because as long as you're getting drinks from either the restaurant or from that soda fountain or from like Marceline or something, that's included in your price. The only thing that it's going to be additional cost is going to be alcohol and specialty drinks. And then they do actually this was because I went with Megan on this last cruise. We did like a mother-daughter trip, and she loves coffee. There are 4 coffee areas that you can sit down in, and there's like a coffee bar, 2 off the atrium, 1 in the adult area, and now I can't remember where the other one was, but there was hold on, it's somewhere. Anyway, so you could like literally get specialty coffee in multiple places. Oh, at Marceline, it's up there. There's one by it. So you have like this little quiet space that you can sit and get a coffee, and they did have some alcohol there as well, but that was really cool for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of the things that, when we talk to people that say, well, they don't have a drink package, and you might be somebody who likes to partake of beverages throughout your cruise. One of the things I loved about it is that, even though there's no dedicated alcohol drink package, the cocktails are very reasonably priced on Disney Cruise Line. You're not paying Disney World price for cocktails on a Disney cruise. And they do have happy hours at the lounges in the evenings, or just look at your Navigator app to find out. So we took advantage of that. We also did onboard, and this goes back more toward onboard activity too, the beverage seminars that they have on board that you can pay for. Like we did the mixology class, and
that one's fun.
I think we got, was it 5 different cocktails over the course of an hour? And I mean, if you were to buy 4 or 5 cocktails in Epcot, I mean, that's going to be pricey.
It's going to add up.
And it wasn't nowhere near the cost of what it was. And, it's entertaining. You learn a little bit about it. But they do like cognac tasting, whiskey tasting, beer tasting that you can sign up. And if you're saying, hey, I've signed up for my cruise, there wasn't any available on your embarkation day, go to the activities section where you can sign up, and they might be able to find you a spot. So check that out.
Yeah, definitely worth checking. Well, guys, I think we only have one question left, and then we'll wrap up for tonight. And that's, a really one I end every session with pretty much every week. Why book Disney destinations, whether we're talking Disney World, Disneyland, Alani, Adventures by Disney, Disney Cruise? Why book that stuff through a travel agent versus just directly online yourself?
Well, it doesn't cost you any extra. That's a big one. You're not paying any extra for our services. We are all trained, whether that means we've done the Disney College of Knowledge, which we've all done, but we have hands-on experience. We're doing on-site trainings. We're going to conferences. We visit and frequent the places that we're talking about. So I don't think you can get, much better advice from anyone else. That firsthand experience. And like Jen said, she's already been on the Wish twice. So she's speaking to those details, those little things that I've only heard about, or maybe I haven't heard about and don't have memorized because I haven't experienced it yet. But booking with, a travel agent's going to give you those tips, those tricks, those itineraries, the details, the logistics, all those things that you don't have to worry about. You can take the stress away from you because we'll take care of it for you.
And I will add
Yeah, you go ahead, please.
I was going to say, I will add to that it's not just about booking with any travel agent. It's about booking with a travel agent that knows Disney and has experienced Disney. I know Mary Alice and Jesse both live in Florida. They frequent Disney World all the time. I've been to Disney World multiple times, but Disney Cruise, I've been on multiple Disney cruises. It's my specialty. It's about finding an agent that has experienced those and really understands the product and how to get you the best experience for your money. Because if we're going to be honest, Disney is not going to be the cheapest vacation that you're going to take, and you're going to want to get the most out of it. And by having a travel agent that specializes in those destinations, not just any travel agent, but one that specializes in those destinations, is going to be the most beneficial for you as far as getting the most, we don't cost anything, but I mean, just getting the most out of your experience that you're paying for your vacation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And when you don't book with an agent, you're paying for a service that you're not using because they already bill the cost of what we get paid into that price that you're paying. So, a lot of people think, well, what's the catch? Is there hidden fees? They're thinking, no, there's no hidden fees. We don't mark up pricing at all. And, we're able to kind of see and work those numbers, sometimes even save money where you might not have seen it, and find ways. And I would just add another point. One of the great things about booking with an agent is you're supporting their small business too. In that sense, the one thing is you can get that free service, and we can call and wait on hold for you instead of making you call in and wait hours. And that's important. And, we live in a world right now where, 2 years ago, we would have never thought, 2.5 years ago, we'd have never thought, there would have been a need to cancel a cruise or there'd have been a need to reschedule and things like that. And that's something that, each of the agents on here can tell you they're doing. They wait and provide that customer service. So
absolutely. All of those are great points, and be just having someone in your corner to help you prepare for the unexpected is I think, we've all been in a situation where we've gotten the call or the text from a client that goes, oh my gosh, someone in my party is sick and we're supposed to leave tomorrow. Mary Alice literally just dealt with that earlier this week, with things like that. And so, we all have situations like that where the unexpected, and so you have someone to kind of talk to you about travel protection and all of those things that maybe as just a consumer, you might not have necessarily thought about or even known was an option. But when you have a travel agent, they can kind of walk you through all of that. So again, thank you so much for all of you for watching with us tonight. Thank you so much to all of these agents for being here. We really appreciate you taking your time and sharing your expertise with us. And I agree, this is great insight. And again, if you are happening across this video, maybe after it's no longer live and you think, oh, I really wish I could have asked a question, go ahead and still ask it. We do monitor these videos even after they're no longer live. And so, we see some of these comments coming up here about, loving the different themed rooms. If you have questions about any of that stuff, feel free to go ahead and still drop those into the comments, and we are happy to come back and address those even after the fact. But thank you so much for all of you who watched with us tonight, and we would hope to have you reach out to any of our agents if you're interested in planning a trip. Keep in mind that it is no extra cost to you, and all of the contact information is back at the beginning of the video. We hope that you enjoyed watching, and we hope to see you again really soon for another episode of Sundays with MMT. Bye, everybody.
Bye.